first time contesting for the first time. Just want to find out, you're nervous. What kind of obstacles, challenges you're foresee facing, and how, what are the kind of issues that you want to bring up?
Even though this is my first time contesting as a potential candidate, right? But I've been involved since childhood, following my grandfather, my father, but with the other camp. It's a small little young kid wearing the RC T-shirt. So having grown up is a different feel. Being a support member in the campaign versus being a candidate myself, definitely there are issues that I have to search and research deeper. Yeah, and I'm glad that coming out to work, I'm no longer that small kid who played that support role, but as a social worker who have been on the field, I can connect with the people, and there are proposals that I resonate with the Workers' Party manifesto. I want to translate that into practical terms. How all those papers, right, all the research that we've done, connecting with the people or getting all the feedbacks, how that's going to translate into practical help. Yeah, so that's my passion going forward in this election. Right, thank you.
So you're saying politics as an extension of the social work?
Sorry? Politics?
Going into politics and running for election as an extension of the social work?
The way I see politics and social work is very closely knit. You see, all the cases that I handle, or my colleagues, my co-workers we face, is all very closely knit with policies. Right? So politics, getting to the parliaments, we want to go into democratic, this whole process, proposing, it will get translated into policies, it will get translated into the administrative of how people are being helped. Right. Does that answer?
Okay, for my case, I'm a first-time candidate. I'm in this election. And for me, I think helping the fellow Singaporeans is my main concern because of the cost of living. Because as I said earlier, I'm a heartlander, and I know what residents are going through, especially Singaporeans, to meet their daily lives. Okay, because I live in HDB, and then I do the same thing as what most residents living in HDB does. Okay, I think here I'm standing as a candidate, just to contribute to help make the residents and the Singaporeans' lives a bit better. Okay, fighting for their rights.
Can I ask, inflation you've been talking about, it's a common problem, everywhere now. What can the government really do? Do you have anything in mind to fight inflation? Or what can you do to help?
For inflation-wise, I think we have to see in what way, we can help control this inflation. If it is necessary, for the government to increase something, I think there must be a debate and with the common people to see what they think first before just blindly going ahead and implementing things. So my point is it depends on how we look at inflation, whether is it a necessity or not, whether will it affect the common people.
So how do you see inflation?
Inflation you can see in many ways. In cost of living, okay, rise of daily necessity and all these things.
Okay, for me, I'm nervous, no, but I'm kind of excited because we are going into this with a view that we're going to start the process to build a first world parliament. So that itself is enough excitement. It will cover all the nervousness. So for me, I believe that what was proposed in our manifesto, the Freedom of Information Act, that is important. with that you can really know a lot more things, because we need to know even like our housing, and we need to know what's the cost, what is how much the health costs actually are priced. So these are things we want to fight for. For me, entering first time, of course, being a new candidate. I mean, no new candidate deserves to be voted in, to be honest. Even if you are Army General or what, you don't deserve, because when you are in a position of command, people, you can command the respect. But when you are in politics, you have to earn the respect. So for that matter, I think it's tough to say, that for a new candidate, I deserve to be elected. That's my personal view. But I think everyone deserves a chance to prove themselves. So for the first time when I joined Workers' Party, Mr. Lau gave me a chance. He gave me a chance to work in the grassroots. So to prove myself, he gave me a chance to stand for election in the CEC. So then I will prove myself. So same thing for this election. I will ask the voters to give us a chance to prove ourselves. We can serve, we can work for you, or not yet, we can work with you to make this a better society. Thank you.
Okay, as for myself, no doubt being called up as a candidate of Workers' Party for the first time is actually a privilege. It's a privilege to stand up under the Workers' Party banners, because to me it is a call to the nation. Because when there's problems, when there's unpopular decisions that already affect Singaporeans, you must be there to stand up for them, get the people to really rally behind you. To me, is that as a younger generation, I've seen a lot of cases throughout my 6 years of financial services experience. I've been advising young families, how to do their financial management, even though the cost of living is keep on increasing each year. But the families are still struggling for that. Especially the younger family who just start off who just get married, need to buy a home, and they see that HDB pricing is pretty high for them. To be frank, after the younger generation really do have the concern, they really cares for our future, and this is the time where actually I stand up to get their voices and to be their voices in the parliament, so that all their views, the alternative views that the party have, can contribute to the nation building. And what the generation really wants is a better Singapore. Nobody wants Singapore to collapse. Singapore must be our home, and this is our home, and I believe in that.
Well, as a new candidate, of course, now that you've been exposed as a candidate, you are subject to media scrutiny, subject to the public scrutiny. I remember after joining the Workers' Party, just about a year or so, nobody knows I'm with the Workers' Party, working the grounds, helping in the newsletters and selling the newsletters and so on. One evening I went to tell my father-in-law, said I with the Workers' Party. The first response he shot at me was, if it's not for the people, don't join. This is very profound. If your heart is not in the right place, don't join. Then what happened was, a week or two later, we were in the same car, driving him home. And then his rational mind come into play. He said, Watson, you're married with a family. You have 2 young children. Why don't you spend time with them?
to continue? Does it have to continue?
So he's worried about my safety too. Because we have a very bad record in politics in Singapore. Locking horns, very vindictive kind of politics. There's a lot of fear in people joining politics. So it takes courage for me to join the Workers' Party. I know where he's come from. The first response was straight from the heart. The second response, the rational mind takes over, the fear factor comes in. Why do we not have better candidates in the opposition compared to the PAP? Because in the PAP it's a show win, you're on their side. They don't run you down like the way they did to the opposition party. They won't demolish you. My wife objected to it. Why is this so? Because for fear of getting involved in lawsuits and such things like this. But today, if you look at politics and the number of people coming forward, I think there's progress, there's maturity. This is the kind of democracy we want in Singapore. If you elect more opposition into parliament, I can assure you Singapore will be the better place for everybody.